Welcome back to the next video on the Donghua Family channel. Today, we will immerse ourselves in the dramatic developments of the next episode of the series, Battle Through the Heavens. If this is your first time visiting our shared home, don't hesitate to leave a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our exciting videos. Your support is the greatest source of motivation for our team. Continuing from the events at the end of episode 161, the atmosphere in Black Emperor City had yet to calm down after the earth-shattering auction. Xiao Yan, with the financial backing of Yao Lao, had successfully acquired several valuable treasures, including the skeleton of a Dozong. However, the victorious smile had barely formed on his lips before it vanished. In the race to obtain the most crucial item, the one he had traveled 1,000 miles in search of, the final map fragment of the purifying demonic lotus flame, he had failed. The three scorpion demon ghosts, three brothers of formidable strength and cruel methods, had emerged as the final winners, smugly taking the map fragment for themselves. Watching their arrogant figures depart, a wave of helplessness and fury surged within Xiao Yan. His eyes were bloodshot, and his hands were clenched so tightly they turned white. Could it be that all his efforts, all the dangers he had faced, were all for naught? Just then, a calm and dignified voice echoed in his mind. "Yener, do not be rash." Yao Lao, the teacher who had always supported him from the shadows, could finally no longer sit still. The situation had forced him to take action personally. The space around them suddenly froze. A heaven-shaking spiritual pressure enveloped the entire area, making it difficult for even Dozong experts to breathe. From the void, Yao Lao's figure slowly emerged, as ethereal as an immortal, but with eyes as sharp as a hawk's. He gently threw a single punch. The punch seemed ordinary, carrying no fierce winds, yet it contained a terrifying spatial power. Before the three scorpion demon ghosts could even react, they felt an irresistible force crash into them. All three were sent flying like dry leaves in a storm, thrown hundreds of meters away. The triumphant expressions on the brothers' faces instantly twisted into absolute terror. "Who are you?" The eldest brother struggled to stabilize himself, spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood as he stared in horror at Yao Lao. He couldn't believe that someone could so easily suppress all three of them with just a single punch. Realizing the situation was dire, the eldest brother hastily gave an order. "Third brother, those three are with that old man. Their strength is surely not high. You go capture them to threaten him, while the two of us join forces to hold back Yao Chen." He had recognized Yao Lao's identity, a realization that only deepened the fear in his heart. "All right, big brother, just give me a few minutes." The third brother, the human scorpion, replied. He licked his lips greedily, his lecherous gaze sweeping over the captivating figures of Kai Lin and the little fairy doctor. In his eyes, these two peerless beauties were even more tempting than the map fragment. With a slight movement, his body transformed into a black streak of light, shooting straight towards them. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's eyes turned as cold as ice. Without hesitation, he circulated his Do Qi and unleashed the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. His aura skyrocketed as the fiery energies of four colors, the green lotus core flame, the fallen heart flame, the 3,000 burning flame, and the bone-chilling flame, roared and condensed before his chest, beginning the dangerous process of fusion. At the same time, Kai Lin let out a cold snort, her arrogant aura as a queen erupting. A dazzling seven-colored light enveloped her body, and in the next instant, a colossal seven-colored heaven-swallowing python appeared. Its majestic body coiled, and its massive tail whipped towards the human scorpion with destructive force. Beside them, the little fairy doctor was just as swift. Her ashen hair danced, her enchanting purple eyes glinting. She formed a hand seal, and a torrent of purplish-gray Do Qi surged forth, materializing into a giant venomous energy python that lunged forward with its foul-smelling maw. The two joined forces, forming a pincer attack that entangled the human scorpion, kicking off a fierce battle. Vile and provocative taunts spewed endlessly from his mouth, further enraging the two women and making their attacks even more ruthless. Initially, the human scorpion appeared relaxed, but the longer he fought, the more horrified he became. He had never expected these two women to be so difficult to handle. Suddenly, he sensed a terrifying, destructive energy forming from Xiao Yan's direction. A premonition of death sent a chill down his spine. He immediately abandoned the fight and frantically rushed to stop Xiao Yan, but Xiao Yan's movement technique had become eerily unpredictable. He dodged with a simple, instantaneous flicker. In the distance, his two accomplices were being completely overwhelmed by Yao Lao, their situation utterly miserable. Realizing the gravity of the situation, a malicious thought flashed through the human scorpion's mind. He turned, intending to capture the little fairy doctor as a hostage to force Yao Lao and Xiao Yan to stand down. Unfortunately, it was too late. The moment he changed direction, a voice as cold as death echoed from behind him. Annihilation Fire Lotus. A four-colored fire lotus, looking as small and exquisite as a work of art yet containing enough energy to obliterate a mountain range, shot forth from Xiao Yan's hand. It traced a beautiful arc through the air as it flew towards the human scorpion. Time itself seemed to freeze. An earth-shattering boom resounded as a four-colored sphere of light exploded, swallowing everything in its path. Sand flew, rocks shattered, dust filled the air, and a terrifying storm of energy swept across the heavens and the earth. When everything settled, a massive, deep crater marked the spot where the human scorpion had been standing. The expert, whose cultivation was close to the half-saint level, had been completely obliterated, not even leaving a speck of ash behind. His very soul had been annihilated by the heavenly flames. In the distance, the two older brothers were struck with absolute terror when they could no longer sense their third brother's aura. They didn't dare to tangle with Yao Lao any longer and immediately split up to flee. But how could Yao Lao let them escape? He waved his hand to blast them both away, then pursued them like lightning. He finished one off with a single palm strike and threw his storage ring to Xiao Yan before continuing the chase for the last one. Opening the storage ring, Xiao Yan found a high-tier D-class cultivation technique, the Vajra glass body. A pleasant surprise. However, the map fragment was in the hands of the fleeing eldest brother. The three could only wait anxiously for Yao Lao's return. Before long, Yao Lao returned with a calm demeanor, holding the final map fragment of the purifying demonic lotus flame. Seeing it, Xiao Yan was overjoyed, feeling as if a 1,000-pound weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Back in a small room, Xiao Yan immediately began studying the Vajra glass body scroll. After a while, Yao Lao entered and said, "Hurry and bring out that ancient map. I'm also very curious to see what it looks like when fully assembled." Xiao Yan nodded and carefully took out the map fragments, laying them on the table. Piece by piece, he fitted them together. When the final piece was put in place, a faint light flashed, and a complete beast skin map appeared, though it looked old and unremarkable. However, Yao Lao saw the mystery within and told Xiao Yan to drip a drop of his essence blood onto its center. Xiao Yan complied, but the map remained unresponsive. Losing patience, he said, "If it's useless, what's the point of keeping it?" With his somewhat impetuous personality, he unleashed a stream of flame towards it. Surprisingly, the moment the flame touched it, the map didn't burn. Instead, it erupted with a brilliant force that repelled Xiao Yan's flame. Ancient, mystical characters slowly materialized on its surface. Yao Lao squinted, slowly reading aloud. "When the twin moons appear and the 9 stars align, the tides of the world will shift, and the demonic flame will descend." He explained to Xiao Yan that this was a celestial phenomenon that occurred only once every 1,000 years. When it appeared, it would trigger the tides of the world, which was the moment the purifying demonic lotus flame would descend. If we calculate the time, we have 3 years. During this time, you must increase your strength to the Do Sheng, Do Saint level. Otherwise, even if the demonic flame appears, it will be useless to you. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's face grew stern as he replied, "In 3 years, I will definitely reach the Do Sheng level." As Xiao Yan was about to put the map away, a beam of white light suddenly shot out from it, entering directly between his eyebrows. Probing with his soul, he discovered a small, milky white flame floating in his mind, and beside it were 4 ancient characters exuding an endless pressure, purifying demonic lotus saint. Yao Lao explained that this was likely a spiritual imprint left behind by the purifying demonic lotus saint himself, the legendary first master of the purifying demonic lotus flame, a figure whose strength was close to that of a Do Emperor. To break through to the Do Shen level in 3 years, Xiao Yan's immediate objective was the Bodhi Heart. Yao Lao said, "The place where the ancient Bodhi tree appears is the ancient wasteland region, a forbidden zone for humans. Although it's extremely dangerous, you possess a Bodhi seed, and that is your greatest advantage." Xiao Yan clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. "In 3 years, I will reach Do Sheng, and I will definitely obtain the Bodhi Heart." A short time later, in a secluded spot, Yao Lao saw Xiao Yan and the 2 beautiful women off on their journey. He patted Xiao Yan's shoulder and advised, "You must walk the path in the ancient wasteland region on your own. If you encounter danger, crush this jade slip, and I will come to your aid. Do your best." Xiao Yan nodded, bid his master farewell, and then led Kai Lin and the little fairy doctor into the ancient lands. After some travel, they approached the ancient wasteland region. Before the dense and gloomy forest, where sunlight struggled to penetrate, groups of people were heading inside. Xiao Yan cautioned, "Let's go. Everyone, be careful." Not long after entering, the little fairy doctor, with her woeful poison body, sensitively detected an invisible poison mist in the air. She immediately took out prepared poison-expelling pills and gave them to the others. Thanks to her, the three of them passed through safely while the agonizing screams of less fortunate individuals echoed around them. A little deeper, they discovered the corpse of Do Zong. There were no wounds on his body, only a tiny, needle-like hole. The cause of death was not poison gas, but a poison insect. The words had barely left her lips when the ground around them suddenly trembled. Countless poison insects, as dense and black as a living carpet, swarmed up from underground, besieging the trio. What dangers will Xiao Yan and his two beautiful companions face in episode 162? What will be the outcome of the battle with a swarm of poison insects? Be sure to follow the Donghua Family YouTube channel for more details. Goodbye and see you again.